Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Nature Cure Summit, where we are discussing the fact that all you need to heal, grow, and thrive can be found in nature, the universe, and within yourself. Throughout this summit, I've brought you experts from a variety of different healing modalities from around the globe. And today we're going to be talking to someone who really does harness the power of nature and puts it into a little bottle for you. So Jodi Cohen she has a background in nutritional therapy and aromatherapy, and she's combined her knowledge in both of those fields to create an essential oil company called Vibrant Blue Oils. Now, these oils contain components of plant extracts that really do help your body to heal itself. So basically what the oils are doing is they're facilitating your own innate healing ability so that you can reach the natural balance that you need to reach. Vibrant Blue Oils is amazing because not only do they provide high quality, organic, well-crafted oils, but they also educate you on how to use them. And they put them together in packages of oil blends that make it super simple for you to figure out what's troubling you and which oil to use to help you with that problem. So Jodi, thank you so much for being here on the Nature Cure Summit. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor to be here. I love what you're doing, and I love the nature approach.
Awesome, yes. And it just would not be complete with speaking to you on what essential oils are and how we can use them to improve our health. But first off, we've asked everybody on the summit, I'd like to ask you as well, what was your driving force? Why are you so interested in essential oils and spreading the word about them to other women and people throughout the world?
So essential oils entered my life at my lowest point. My husband is bipolar, and he had attempted suicide and needed to be hospitalized. And the moment that I knew he was safe and it was no longer my job to keep him safe, my adrenals collapsed. It was the craziest thing. I'm a pretty high energy person. Not only could I barely get out of bed, I couldn't answer the phone. All the things that I enjoyed, like running and yoga, I couldn't even get myself to do them. My children were very little, so I mustered the energy to make them breakfast, pack their lunches, get them to school. And then the minute I dropped them off, all I wanted to do was climb back into bed or into my sweats and just watch mindless television. I had no energy. So I was highly motivated. I knew I needed to do something. After my second was born, I was given lorazepam, which my chemistry and pharmaceutical drugs were not a good match. So I knew that wasn't my option. But I was fortunate to have some very good friends who came over with a box of essential oils, and they put them next to me on the couch, because that was where I was pretty much living, and said, "These will help you." And I said, "Great, how do I use them?" And they said, "No, you're super smart and super intuitive," and they left them there and then they left. And I had no energy, but I was motivated to help myself, and I had been practicing nutritional therapy and muscle testing supplements on clients. So I thought to myself, well, I know how to muscle test for my adrenals. Let me just see if there's anything in this box that's going to help me. So I started there, and I got a yes. And then normally I get 1 or 2 supplements, but I got 5 oils. And that was weird enough that it caught my attention. I thought, well, this is weird. What do I do now? And then I got the idea that I should combine them. So I didn't know essential oils. I literally went into the kitchen, pulled out a shot glass, and tested each of the oils to see how many drops of each. And kind of thought, this is weird, but let's see where it goes. I combined them, put them on my adrenals, which are on the lower back, and it was amazing. I felt like myself pretty quickly. So
wow, that's an amazing story. That's really kind of amazing. So just to stop you for a second, for those of you people listening who are not familiar with muscle testing, can you explain what you were doing there while you're laying on the couch?
Yeah, it's a way of asking. See, I do it as a yes/no question. There are a million different techniques. I trained with Dietrich Klinghardt with autonomic response testing, and I think he's brilliant. And he's actually going to write the foreword for my new book, which I'm excited about. It's the first time I'm revealing that. But what I tend to do is I just energetically ask a question, and the easiest way to do it is to put your hand on something and say, will this help me? And to me, a yes is when I lean forward, and a no is when I lean back, and I feel it pretty strongly. And so I first tested the box, and start big and then narrow it down, and then I test each row and see if there's something in that row and then go deeper. So that, and then for each oil, I test, how many drops. So if it's 3, I would lean forward 3 times. And that's kind of my technique. People can use pendulums. They can push on arms. They can kind of make an O-ring with their fingers. There are lots of different techniques to do it.
Awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify in case anyone was thrown off by that.
Oh, right. No, that's a terrific question. So anyway, I put it on and I felt like myself, and I was able to go running and take a shower and go to the supermarket and even return a few phone calls, and then it kind of wore off. And so I kept using it, and I figured out this is really interesting. I wonder if I can do something for my insomnia. So I created something for insomnia, and I created something. There's this idea that when you're under chronic stress, there are 2 states of the nervous system. Our sympathetic fight or flight state and our parasympathetic rest and digest state. And I knew that I was stuck in that fight or flight state. And I'd been doing yoga for years, and I knew that you could trigger the parasympathetic state either through deep breath and also like splashing water on your face. It's this vagal nerve right here that starts at the base of the skull and winds down each side of the body. And I had read something about electrical impulses and heard that oils could be used to stimulate the brain. So I created something that helped with that stimulation. And within a month, I started to feel like myself again. And at that point, I went online and said, somebody must be doing this. No one was doing it, and everything I found was so confusing. Honestly, if I had started there, I don't think I would have gotten started because it was so overwhelming.
Yes, and that's one of the things with the essential oils. Essential oils have gotten very popular over the past 5 or 6 years. But the problem I'm seeing out there in the marketplace with my patients and those I talk to is they are very confusing. There's
Right.
a lot of, if you Google something, one person's saying it's safe, one person's saying it's
Right.
not safe. Can you ingest them? Should you just sniff them? Do you put them in your
Right.
skin? Do you add them together? Do you take it alone? And so it's very confusing, and I'm sure everyone listening and watching it, like you probably have that same feeling if you've dabbled in essential oils, but you're not an aromatherapist or a practitioner who uses oils. It can be very intimidating, and unfortunately, if you're intimidated and confused, you're not going to get the benefit of it.
I completely agree. There's a lot of fear-based marketing, and I think my intention, honestly, is to empower people with the knowledge, tools, and remembrance of their own intuition.
Yeah.
I really tried to, it's funny, I'm not much of a do-it-yourselfer. This summer, my children wanted to make raspberry jam, and we did, and we made a lot of it. We have a freezer full, and I gave away Christmas presents, and we still have a freezer full. And next time, I'm not going to do that. And I think a lot of companies encourage you to buy, thousands of dollars of blends, and maybe you use the tiniest amount. It's like kind of going to Costco, and then you're like, I'm never going to eat this much pasta. So I really tried to save people the time by creating my own blends, having practitioners test them, validate them. But at the same time, if someone has the intuition and the drive to make it themselves, I really encourage them to do that. I've created blends and given you very specific directions on how you can use them, but you can take that as your own intention. I'm going to create something that supports my pancreas, and use your own intuition to create it or apply it however you want. And that's kind of the point I want to leave people with. I don't want them to be overwhelmed that they have to know the chemical history of every single oil. If you want to, that's great. It's interesting. I certainly have. But you can also go by your sense of smell. What appeals to you. Your body is very intuitive. That's why we crave chocolate when we need magnesium, or maybe a hamburger when we need iron. Our body knows what it likes.
Yeah, it's so true. Now, for people who are not familiar with essential oils, or even people who are a little familiar but not really sure,
Right.
How exactly, what's in that bottle, first of all?
Right.
And how exactly, what's the mechanism that they're working by? And there's more than one mechanism that they work by, so if you can explain, which ones or why you would use some to inhale, why you would diffuse some in the air, why you use some topically.
Right. That's a big question. So let me start with oils are the highly concentrated essences of different plants, shrubs, trees, roots, barks, fruits, and they're extracted almost like on the spot. So if you think of farm to table, they're picked and they're immediately distilled, often using steam, but sometimes like in plants, it's actually in these little sacs kind of near the surface of the orange, so they're extracted differently. and then they're kind of preserved and contained. And for example, you can use very grounding oils like vetiver, which is a grass with very deep roots. That can help you feel more grounded. What I've realized is there's a synergy in combining them, which is really interesting. If you think about your own life, you might be different when you're with your family than with your professional colleagues, or you're with your yoga tribe or whatever. You vary in the way you present. Oils are the same way. So if you combine them with certain other oils, you can kind of create something very different than what they are individually. And that's where I really see an opportunity. I think there are a lot of high quality companies that are selling single oils, and I think that's great. And I think if you're driven to go that route, absolutely. But what I tried to do was combine oils in a way that they actually match kind of the blueprint, for lack of a better word, of healthy organs. So you asked about the different mechanisms of application. I actually think it's most effective to smell them. It goes directly into the brain and works on the body incredibly quickly. I also believe in topically applying them. It's kind of like a transdermal application, which is used in medicine, right? We have nicotine patches, and
progesterone creams. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's a great way to get into the system, especially if you're trying to target a very specific organ or region of the brain. You can just topically apply it. It doesn't need to travel through your digestive tract to get there. Ingestion is not something I recommend, not necessarily because it's going to kill you. I just don't think it's effective. Even Robert Tizarend, who writes the Essential Oil Safety book, mentions that you have to put them in very specific gel caps in order for them to withstand the stomach acid and the chemical alterations in the liver.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of the controversy I've seen lately lies in the ingestion of the oils and the safety, and also the effectiveness. Like, you don't want to bother taking something that's not going to work, right?
Right. I'm a mom. I don't do things that aren't, if there's a shortcut and the scenic route, I usually take the shortcut. I like things to be efficient.
Yeah, totally. And if you're going to go through the trouble to use them, you might as well use them in a way that's going to best benefit you. So can you talk a little bit about your blends that you do have? You have some very specific blends for specific organ systems, and also specific conditions, ailments, symptoms.
Right. Well, I guess I kind of think of it as the front door into your body for healing nutrients is supposed to be your digestive tract, right? And 100 years ago, when the food was cleaner, the water was cleaner, the air was cleaner, things weren't modified, there wasn't as much stress, we didn't have electromagnetic frequencies going on, everyone's digestion was pretty solid. But the majority of my clients, there's some kind of impediment. I mean, if you think about it, if you're driving down a 4-lane highway and 3 of the lanes are closed, it still works, but not as efficiently. And that's how I look at our digestive system. But luckily, the body has back doors. It always has a back door to get into things. And those back doors, I believe, are the olfactory system and transdermal applications. Especially, you can apply them directly on acupuncture meridians, and it helps to trigger the body in a certain way. So that's what I was using oils for. I have a background in nutritional therapy, and one of the things I notice about oil companies is they position it as a magic bullet. This will get rid of your hot flashes or your weight gain or whatever. And it might. I don't really believe in magic bullets. I personally think that if you are eating Pop-Tarts in your diet, it's going to be hard to heal no matter what you do. So you have to start by cleaning up your diet, taking out the foods that you're allergic to and that are causing inflammation, and adding in healing nutrients like a lot of plant food. But then I also think that you can support the organs at the same time. It's a little bit like if you think of teaching a child to ride a bike. It's a weird set of motions, right? They're moving forward and they're trying to balance. So what you're doing is you're helping them feel that in their body. And then at a certain point, they feel it and they don't need you anymore. And it's different for everyone when that kind of kicks in. So that's how I'm using oils, to kind of support the organs in a different way while the body is healing internally, so that it can kind of take off.
That's awesome. I love that analogy. I don't think we've ever used an analogy of riding a bike to essential oils, so that's awesome. It really is an important thing to know, is you're not just going to start, putting these oils on your skin or smelling them and magically all your troubles wash away.
No, it's
the basic foundations. It's just like anything else. Just like a lot of patients come to me wanting bioidentical hormones.
Yes.
That's great. We can do that. But first we have to fix the underlying issues. We've got to give you the foundations of good health. So that's, it's a great tool to add on to that. And so a lot of the oils that you use have a big impact on stress reduction, and you specifically, your personal story involved your adrenals shutting down due to stress. Right. So why is it so important to reduce stress, and how can essential oils help that?
So I really believe that a body in balance can heal, and I believe that it's stress that pulls the body out of balance, because it that makes us kind of go into that sympathetic fight or flight state, as opposed to the parasympathetic state where all of the healing occurs. And it's not just kind of the external factors in the moment, your job, your relationship, your financial situation. It's thought patterns. If you had a traumatic experience in the past, or are living in a state of fear or grief or anxiety, that can trigger a stress response in the body. It's called anticipatory stress. And it triggers the same cascade of events as any external factor. And so helping to balance that through oils. Oils can reach the part of the brain, the amygdala, that store trauma faster. And it's interesting, actually, the forehead, like if you think about that, when we're upset, we sometimes put our hand on our forehead, right? And what that's triggering is for the blood flow to go to the forehead, which is the prefrontal cortex, where we're able to kind of process things more. So applying certain calming oils to the forehead can do the same thing and help bring us into a state of calm. We can also trigger the parasympathetic state by topically applying a stimulatory oil right here. I use a combination of clove and lime. The lime helps to assimilate it into the skin, and the clove is stimulatory. I have oils for the adrenals. And then sleep is super important for stress, right?
Exactly. So are there any oils that you consider unsafe for children or the elderly?
Definitely no peppermint for children. We don't really recommend any oils on children, and nothing under the age of 6 months. And then between 6 months and 2 years old, you just want to be really careful. I would only apply it to the bottom of the feet or have them smell it. I wouldn't topically apply it anywhere else. For the elderly, it kind of depends on, like, if people are taking a medication that is contraindicated with grapefruit, I say no grapefruit oil. But other than that, we have not had major concerns with the elderly. A lot of the oils actually are fabulous for people who are chronically ill with autoimmune conditions, because it doesn't get contraindicated for many medications.
Exactly. And another thing I've noticed with essential oils is a change in mood.
Yes.
Like when a lot of times if you think about like your grandma's house and how it smelled like cookies, like you get in that mood from the smell. But the smell of orange sometimes helps you focus, can wake you up a little bit. And so can you talk a little bit about the aromatherapy aspect of the essential oils?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. If you think about the nose and it goes through the olfactory bulb directly into the brain, it's kind of the only point in the body where our nervous system is directly accessible to the outside world. And it triggers different areas of the brain. It goes into the limbic system, which is kind of the core of our emotional center. Like for me, if you ever smell blackberries in the summer, I swear to God, transports me back in time, and I feel like I'm a kid again. Those smell memories are so powerful because they're encoded in the limbic system, and that's why smells can transport us so quickly. Similarly, if they're, if you had a negative experience, that smell can bring you back right away. Smell memory is incredibly powerful.
Wow, that's awesome. So you have an amazing special free gift that you're offering for people who are interested in learning a little more about essential oils. So can you tell us a little bit about your free gift?
Absolutely. So when I actually started researching oils, I was so overwhelmed with how much information there was, and I really wanted just a really short guide to kind of tell me everything I needed to know. So I've created that for you. It's only 20 pages. It's the highlights of what I thought was the most interesting information on oils, and it's all free. If you just click the link below, you can get it and then get more information from us.
Awesome, awesome. And your oils come in a really neat blue cobalt bottle.
Yes.
What's the reason for the blue bottle? Just because you like the color blue, or?
It is one of my favorite colors, but no, the blue color is fascinating in that you never would want oils in white glass, even like fish oils that you might buy at the supermarket. Make sure that they're always in darker glass because that helps shield out some of the UV rays. With essential oils in particular, blue shields out more of the frequencies that you don't want than any other color, but it also lets in that positive light. Like if you think about blue, it's kind of the color of the planet, right? It's the water, it's the air. There are some theories that actually DNA messaging is kind of communicated through light. So it's kind of the perfect balance of weaning out what you don't want, but allowing in what you do.
Awesome, awesome. And so your company, different than a lot of the popular essential oil companies, it's not a multi-level marketing company. People can actually go on your website, buy the oils that they're interested in, get some education from you. Can you talk a little bit about how you're educating people on the oils and like the support that you get when they order from you?
Oh, absolutely. We have extensive use sheets on how to use them. It's the idea that sometimes people want very specific directions, and so we provide that, but we also encourage you to use your intuition. I write a weekly blog that's designed to kind of educate and empower you. I also recently wrote a book that I'm excited is a #1 bestseller on Amazon.
Awesome. Awesome. Name of the book, please.
Healing with Essential Oils.
Awesome. We'll put a link to that below.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Great resource for those of you who are super interested in this topic.
Well, and one thing that I'm excited about, and excited about your summit, I've read probably over 200 essential oil books and taken a million classes, and then I started taking earth medicine classes and realized that oils, yes, they are a subset of plants, but they're not only that subset. They're not only those chemical combinations. It's more, when I was reading about earth medicine and how it works, that resonated more with me about how essential oils work. And so I tried to communicate that in the book.
Yeah, and that message is so important because it's really the energy that the plants are harboring. You know, the photosynthesis is a way for them to harbor energy from the planet, and you know, you're transferring that energy into your body. And I really do believe that that is the healing power of nature, you know, in a form that you can hold in your hand, which is really, yeah, for people who need something tangible. You actually have something tangible, but it is the healing power of nature in a bottle, basically. So
exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all of your knowledge, for sharing your story, and for really making sense of essential oils for us.
Thank you. I hope that was helpful. And if anyone has questions, I answer every email personally, so you're welcome to just go to the Contact Us button.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, we'll put all of the links so where you can find Jodi, where you can find Jodi's book, and definitely download her free guide. It's actually a very concise but super informative way to learn about essential oils and start using them for yourself and your family. So Jodi, thank you so much for being here today. Thanks for being part of the Nature Cure Summit.
Thank you so much for putting this on. It's wonderful that you're sharing this.
Yes, and thank you guys all for showing up today to learn a little bit about how you can use the healing power of nature to help you and your family live your best life. So I know you have a lot of options online and in your personal life and how you spend your time, but I really want to commend you and give you a pat on the back for taking the time out to do something good for yourself. So thanks again for being here with us. Thanks, Jodi, for joining us today, and we will see you guys all soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey there, it's Dr. Michelle, and I just wanted to commend you and thank you for spending a little bit of your day to do something empowering. I hope that you found value in today's content and that you'll go out and use this new information to improve your life, even in a small way. I want you to open up to the possibility of making today, this week, and this year the greatest possibility you've had so far to improve your life. This is about breaking out of old paradigms. It is about learning the act of living naturally. It's about honoring who you are and allowing all that is good into your life. I promise to continue to bring you educational, empowering, and inspiring content to help you achieve the body you dream about, but more importantly, help you live the life you deserve. Remember, all that you need, you already have. It's right here, in nature and within yourself. So stay tuned for some more value-packed interviews, and be sure to check out all of the resources at glownaturalmedicine.com.